Okay, so you know how YouTube has a rabbit hole? Anyways, I'm looking at these mouse Utopia videos. I watched one. The dude did research with mice. He basically gave them what he thinks is a utopia and then expected the mice to flourish in it. Like, it's so stupid. Like his okay, this is basically what happened. The mice had abundant food and they were always refreshed to food, and they had enough space to walk around, and it wasn't like they had infinite space. It was just a large amount of space. You can't put someone in a box and then expect, because of the box's neatness, that it's going to be a flourishing thing. There's tons of things in life like fear, right? You need to understand fear, or eventually you're going to fear what's around you. It's like, how are these people who do these experiments so stupid? Like, this guy's research, all of it is trash. It is actually trash. A bunch of mice. Like, he said that some of the mice ended up just secluding themselves, and they went to the higher levels, and they were called the beautiful ones because they looked cleaner. Well, that's to you. You think they look cleaner. The other mice probably talked to these mice or whatever, interacted with these mice, and these mice didn't understand anything. So eventually they ended up in these higher levels of the place because they didn't get along with the other mice. It's just stupid. Because there's tons of things that mice need to do. Like, don't mice fucking burrow into things? So you limited these mice from what they're naturally supposed to do into doing what people do. Like, people are social animals. So mice don't have mouths. They can't talk. So they're going to be limited, very limited to their fucking communication. So now they're all like, mice don't talk to each other. Cats don't talk to each other. Dogs don't talk to each other. So you're really going to limit these fucking creatures to just violence and then eating and stuff. So the reality is you force them all to need to rape each other. Like, it's just stupid. Like, how could you actually think that your research is gonna hold any validity? It's so stupid. But anyways, I'm gonna watch a couple minutes of this video.
Of the strange research to come out of mid-1900s America, there is little with a legacy as enduring or as terrifying.
The strange research, the retarded research. This shit's retarded.
As the
Right? Like, oh, hold up. This looks like a movie. You know that movie with the monsters? And then that guy? Anyways, let me stay on topic. This guy is the one who made all this stuff, right? He's not taking into the account that these rats would see the people making stuff, and then they would create lore of not understanding what these big creatures are that keep coming to you. For this to actually work, the mice would have to only see mice, and then that's not indicative to reality. It's like there's just so many little issues with this research where it's like, yo, this dude is just stupid as fuck. And then he made this research that isn't applicable to reality in any way at all.
The mouse Utopia experiments. Taking place throughout the 50s, 60s, and early 70s, the grim fate of the subjects was published in the national magazine Scientific American, and the experiments themselves were...
It's not the grim fate. It's the fate that they were too stupid to realize what happened with mice.
largely taken as apocalyptic portents. In a post-war United States, the language used to describe the results such as behavior sync became synonymous with fears of an overpopulated world and violent, deviant behavior in cities. Today, they are preserved within fiction such as Channel 4's conspiracy thriller Utopia and the classic animated movie The Secret of Nim.
Our world began changing.
So what were the Mouse Utopia experiments? Shortly after World War II, a group known collectively as the Environmentalists were making a large push to prevent environmental degradation, as well as overexploitation of the planet's renewable resources. Among these people were a group specifically known as the Neo-Malthusians, a term referring to the 18th and 19th century English scholar Thomas Robert Malthus. Malthus proposed that while the
Okay, some of this is unnecessary explanation. You don't have to go into what pollution is. I watch that later because that's useful to me, but that's not useful to half of the people who can watch this video.
effects. These fears were given a platform in writing of the time, especially in works such as William Folkt's Road to Survival. Shortly after he arrived, he approached his neighbor about using some of their neglected property for an experiment. The scope would be massive, and according to Calhoun, his neighbor probably didn't expect such a scale when they agreed to let him use the forested area. Taking over a quarter of an acre, Calhoun constructed a massive habitat, complete with food, water, ample shelter, and protection from predators, with the only limiting condition being their restriction to the quarter-acre living space.
What this dude didn't realize is that mice are too stupid to create a sustainable living space. Mice will end up in your house. Mice will end up in all these different places. My question is, can't they burrow? Can't they fucking burrow into the ground and then live somewhere where there's food? Can't they already make their own utopias? Isn't that within their grasp? But they're too stupid to do it. So why would you think that forcing them to have it, something that they're not capable of making on their own, in their own intellect, why would you think forcing them to have it and then forcing them to only have that would make them live inevitably long? Like, it's retarded. It's too retarded. You can't force someone to do something and then expect them to do it the best of their possibility. Like it's stupid. How the fuck were people so dumb, bro? Like, anyways.
He affectionately provided his enclosure a name, Rat City. Unfortunately, no publicly available images of Rat City exist. Calhoun was very familiar with Norway rats, having performed research on them for his doctorate, and he estimated that Rat City could sustain approximately 5,000 individuals.
Okay, so because this group of rats was able to do something, you thought, okay, so I think I understand now. These people were dumb as fuck. They thought that rats are a type of being that, okay, if this rat can survive in the desert, then all of these types of rats can survive in the desert. If this rat can survive in the snow, then all of these types of rats can survive in the snow. Like, that's the type of fucking morons these people were. Because here's a fact, right? Everything that is alive and makes choices, all you are is consciousness. You're limited to your body and your environment. So, whatever you're limited to is what you're going to be, pertaining to what your body type is, whether you're a rat or whatever the fuck you are. Like what you can do has nothing to do with the species of rat you are. All of that is just circumstance. You could take you could take a rat that can't survive diseases and put it in a disease-infested place, and then the rat survives because it doesn't interact with things that have diseases. So this whole experiment was just fucking retarded. It's all useless information.
Though if they reached this number, the population density would be tight. He began by placing 5 pregnant females in the enclosure, providing ample genetic diversity, and soon the population was increasing exponentially. But then something surprising happened. Rather than the population increasing to fill the space of the enclosure, it quickly leveled off at 150.
Like, they weren't even taking into account things that rats would do to each other. Okay, they all got ample food. What if a rat starts stealing food from the other rat? Well, now they're gonna have fucking inevitable fucking conflict. It's like Utopia does not come from putting people in situations. Utopia comes from teaching people, teaching animals, teaching things the right way to do shit. You could have a utopia in a place where there's no more water, right? Like everyone's dying because there's no water. Like y'all are gonna end up with a utopia quicker than people who have all the water. Because you're all gonna die because you don't have water, so you're all gonna be taking time to think of yourselves and understand. Right? So it's like this idea that this was a rat utopia. This was rat hell. They were all stuck in a location where they could figure out the entire location. They didn't have shit to do other than fuck with each other. From the pictures that are here, it looks like they didn't even see the sky very well, wherever the fuck they were. So they had no reason to wonder about what could go on outside of the fucking place. It's like, it's just stupid as fuck.
Members. He also noted some behavioral peculiarities. Despite the large size of Rat City, the residents seemed to gather around just a few places, forming social groups of 12 and limiting themselves to specific feeding locations. He would
like that action right there, them limiting themselves. How the fuck did he not understand that that was inevitable? If you put a group of anyone anywhere and you close it off, eventually they're just gonna go to certain areas. Because it's a closed off area and there's no point in searching the other shit. Because there's nothing to do. It's not like they could make shit for themselves. They're fucking rats. Like, it's stupid as shit. This entire experiment is just stupid. Like, there is not even 1% of valuable information from this shit. And they funded this shit. Who the fuck, what fucking moron funded this shit?
conclude the experiment after 2 years and 4 months, during which the population never grew over 200. Careful observation revealed the cause: high infant mortality. For some reason, as the experiment progressed and the population increased, the mothers were not caring for their young properly, leading to most of them dying before reaching maturity. Calhoun had his theories.
It's because they didn't have any reason to learn how to teach their kids anything. There was already food. They didn't have to teach their kids how to search for food. There was already places to live. You didn't have to teach their kids how to find a place to live. So what the rats were having an issue with was that the rats were thinking that the other rats would understand too. Rats can't rats can't talk to each other. So they're never gonna be like, oh, you see this fucking thing, you use it this way, you don't use it that way. No, all the rats are gonna do is know how to eat, sleep, and have sex with each other. So that's the reason they're all grouping together, because all they need to do is eat, sleep, and have sex with each other. It's like, it's just stupid as fuck. Like, these people dumb as shit. The person who did all this research is a fucking retard.
As to why this was, but to prove them, he would need more data.
You would need more data. Stupid as fuck.
In 1954, about 5 years after his initial experiment concluded, he was hired by the National Institute of Mental Health, often shortened to NIM. Within the laboratory of psychology,
The fucking National Institute of Mental Health, these people are retarded. I got a bone to pick with those dumb fucks.